In today's art lesson, we're going to be thinking about our key question again: what would a world without war look like? During this lesson, we're going to learn how to appreciate art created during World War II, and we're going to be looking specifically at propaganda posters. To be able to do this, we need to understand the purpose of propaganda. We need to understand why it had so much influence during the war. We need to think about the messages behind propaganda. We need to appreciate it as a form of art. And we're also going to think about what makes certain propaganda successful. Now, I've used this word propaganda loads of times now, and you're probably thinking, what does that mean? And propaganda is information that is biased, which means it leans towards someone's point of view. So it supports their point of view. And sometimes it's misleading, so it's not actually true. That's used to promote a political cause or point of view. Now, propaganda was used a lot in World War II to promote certain ideas by both the Allies and the Axis powers. And these were the two groups that were fighting against each other in World War II. If you remember from one of our history lessons a few weeks ago, we learned that the Allies were Great Britain, France, the United States of America, and the Soviet Union. And the Axis involved Germany, Italy, and Japan. So now we've had to think about what propaganda was, we need to also understand how it was used. And in Britain, there were a variety of reasons why it was used, and these included encouraging Britons to continue in the war effort, so increasing their mood, boosting their morale, helping them to view the war positively. It was also used to explain what was going on in the war for the general public. Another reason why propaganda was used was to get volunteers for jobs. For example, volunteering as an air warden. This was a job that the country needed during World War II, and air wardens would make sure that people got to safety during air raids, so they would use propaganda to try and advertise these jobs. And it was also used to help boost morale, as I've mentioned before, so to make people think about the war more positively. And this was really important because war was a very scary thing to live through, and it still is a very scary thing to live through. So the British government decided that they were going to use propaganda to try and make the war seem not as bad as it actually was, to try and keep the public happy and to try and reduce the amount of fear that was around in the nation at that time. Now, you'll have noticed that there's a link to a BBC clip at the bottom of this page, and I would like you to, in a moment, pause this video and go and have a watch of that on Microsoft Teams. And this will show you what propaganda was used for during the war, and there's also a little interview with someone who actually lived through it and their experiences with propaganda. Please pause the video now and go and have a watch of that video. Right, now that we've understood what propaganda was and how it was used, we're going to look at some real-life propaganda from World War II. So you'll see on the screen 4 posters. And these were used during World War II to give various messages to the public and to provide some information. What I'd like you to do is have a look at these posters and think about what you notice. Are there any similarities between them? And what messages are they sending? Now, propaganda posters were successful in many ways, and there were certain things about them that made them so. For example, you'll have noticed on the screen before that they all use bright and bold colours, and this was to make them eye-catching and stand out against the walls that they would have been stuck to. They also gave a simple message, and this made them clear for all audiences, so it wouldn't have mattered who read it, everyone would have understood the message that was trying to be told. The text was often bold, and this helped it stand out against the image. And there was often not much of this text, which helped promote a clear message, so they didn't have too much information on a page to confuse people. They often included a short, snappy slogan for people to remember and take away. The pictures were often related to the text, and this made the message far more memorable. And one of the final things that made them successful is that they often only used a few colours. And this was because it helped them stand out more. So rather than having all of the colours of the rainbow on there and making it a bit of an eyesore and a bit confusing, posters would often use a few colours to make them really bold, to make them really eye-catching, so people would notice them and take away the message. So, today, You are going to need to complete the art appreciation sheets for the posters that you've already seen a few slides before this. And you will need to answer the questions on these sheets and give your own opinion. Now, this is the only task that you have to do today. Task 2, I would like you to complete tomorrow. And in task 2, you need to research and find another poster from World War II that you like. Now, you can either complete this research on a piece of A4 paper and stick a picture on it, or I've provided on Microsoft Teams a template which you can fill out. And the template includes the following questions. What message is the poster trying to convey or promote? So what are they trying to tell the public through the poster? How has colour been used on the poster? Is there just a few or is there lots? What text has the poster used? And what's the effect of using this text? What do you like or dislike about the poster that you have chosen? And do you think the poster would have been successful in promoting its message and why? So do you think that the poster that you have chosen would have made an impact during World War II? Would people have noticed it and listened to the information or maybe warning or message that the poster was trying to talk about? Now, this is an art appreciation lesson, so we're not actually going to be creating any art. The reason we're doing this is to try and understand what propaganda was, so that when you, in a few lessons' time, make your own propaganda poster, you've really understood what it was like during World War II, and your poster will be really effective and really similar to the ones that were created then. So you've come to the end of this video. What you're going to need to do now is pause the video and then on Teams find the document that says Art Appreciation Sheet, and you're going to need to fill this in and answer the questions for each poster. And then tomorrow you're going to need to complete your research and find your own poster that was created during World War II. To find your own poster tomorrow, I would suggest you type something like World War II propaganda posters into Google, and it should come up with loads and loads of suggestions. And you can choose whichever one that you want to analyse and appreciate. One thing that I do ask about the poster that you find tomorrow is that it is a British poster rather than an American one. So you'll need to make sure that when you search, you're not looking for American propaganda posters, but you're looking for British ones, because we're trying to look at this from a British perspective. So that's the end of this video. Please pause this now and go and complete the work that has been set for you on Teams. I hope you enjoy this and that you learn loads about propaganda during World War II. Bye!